Hello everyone and welcome to the hands-on demo on AWS CodeBuild. So in this demo, we will create an Amazon ECR repository to store Docker images. Then we'll create a GitHub repository with a sample application. We will create an IAM role for CodeBuild with necessary permissions. We'll create and configure a CodeBuild project. We'll connect CodeBuild to GitHub. We'll trigger and monitor a build. We'll test the whole setup by verifying the built image, and finally, we will clean up all the resources. So this is the visual representations of all the components. So here in the middle, we have CodeBuild project and it has some build configuration. It will connect to GitHub via GitHub connections. It needs some CodeBuild role and CodeBuild policies to work with our ECR repositories and all. So there will be a build trigger in the GitHub build specification file that will monitor for any changes or as soon as you push the code. But we will manually start the build, and this build will actually pick up the repository from the ECR repository and the Docker image that we have created. And in the GitHub, we'll have the sample application, and this is the step where we will do the test and verification. So first is to create a Elastic Container Registry repository. So I have logged into AWS console home and I am working in North Virginia, US East 1 region. And I will search with ECR, Elastic Container Registry. So I click that and click on Create Repository. Next, I have to provide the repository name. So I'll just copy the repository name. Paste the repository name, and after that I will just click on create. So this has successfully created the ECR repository. Next I will create a GitHub repo. So I have logged into my GitHub account. I don't have any repository at the moment. I will create a GitHub repository. So click on create repository and provide the GitHub repository name. And you can provide an optional description if you want. So I'll just provide an optional description and keep public repository, and don't check any of the checkboxes, and click on create repository. So the repository is created. Next, we will create a folder, and we will do a git init and will push the files to our GitHub repository. So I'll take the command, so you can do make dir and folder name. So in this case, I have already created a folder, AWS CodeBuild demo. I'll just clear the screen, and I have already cd into AWS CodeBuild demo. So I'm working directly on my desktop. You can create this folder anywhere on your machine. So once you are in that folder, cd AWS CodeBuild demo, first command you have to do is git init. So this will initialize a repository on this particular folder. Next, you can open the code. So I'll just open the whole folder in Visual Studio Code. You can use any text editor of your choice. So these are all the files. They will be available as part of resources. So I'll just talk about all the files. So first is app.js, and app.js is our only single page application where it will just show a CodeBuild demo HTML page, and later on when I build the Docker image, you will be able to see just the basic setup here. So this is a single page app.js, and next step is to there will be a package.json file because it's a node application. So this is how it looks like. Then I will have a Docker file. So this is important. So Docker file, this is the third file. This will pull a base image from public ECR repository, and that is node 18 Alpine image. Then it will set up a work directory. It will copy package.json file to the root folder, and it will in npm install. Npm install means it will just run the .js npm install. So package.json file, it will all the files that are there as dependency, it will install. and we'll copy the files like one file app.js, and it will expose port number 80 and run the application. So that will automatically pick 80 and it will run the web server. Next, there is a docker.ignore. This is just some basic docker.ignore file. And lastly, important one is buildspec.yaml file, and this has the instructions. So this is like how you build the project. So there is a pre-build stage, then you have commands and echo. First command logging into Amazon ECR, then AWS ECR get login password, repository, commit hash, image tag. So these are, so main one is get login, and it will log into your ECR repository. Then comes the build phase, and first is build command, echo build. It will just print out some echo commands. Then this is the important part, docker build. It will build the docker image, and it will tag the docker image. And then post build, first it will be some printouts like echo, then it will docker push the image which it has built over here, and finally it will create a image definitions.json file. And this is basically a readme. This is a simple Node.js application designed to demonstrate AWS CodeBuild CI/CD capabilities. Okay, moving on. So we have seen all the files. So there are totally 6 files. Next, we'll do a git branch main. So we are just switching from master to main branch. So now it has moved the main branch as main. The name has just changed. Next, I will add all the files. So you will do git add dot. So what basically it will do, so these files it will add as part of staging location. And next I will do a git commit with initial commit message. So I'll copy the command. So it has done a commit. Next, this I have already done git branch, and next is to add our remote GitHub repository. So we are saying github.com. Replace this with your username / this is your username. In my case, it's learn PDE / and the repository name AWS CodeBuild demo.git. So I'll copy this whole command and paste it. So it has added the remote origin. So next, before we do a git push, so here before we do a git push, we need to create a personal access token. So for this, go to your GitHub account. On the top right, on your username, click on settings, scroll down, developer settings, personal access tokens, tokens classic, generate new token classic, log into personal access tokens classic, and here I have to provide a note. So I'll just take a note. So these steps we have seen, and I'll just say it's a code build demo, and what permissions you want to give. So I'll just give it for 1 month expiration, and I'll just select for the time being all the permissions. And click on generate token. So the token is generated. I'll just copy it onto the clipboard. And next I have to do a git push with this particular command. So I'll copy the command, and all I have to do is replace this token which is in the middle. So I paste it, and I go, and before add the rate, I will delete this part and paste the token. So I'll copy the token, paste it, and do a git push. So as soon as I do a git push, my repository should have all the content. So if I come here, I'll open this in a new tab, and if I come to the repository, all the contents are there in the repository. Next is to create a CodeBuild IAM role. So for this, I go to the IAM service. I will open IAM in a new tab and go to the policies. create policy, and click on JSON. And you can copy paste this whole JSON. Click on next. So this JSON is providing the to work with 3 services: CloudWatch logs, Elastic Container Registry, basically read and write to CloudWatch logs, and S3, any kind of read permissions. And you can provide the policy name. So I'll just call it CodeBuild demo policy and click on create policy. So the policy is created. Next, we'll create a CodeBuild IAM role. So come here and I'll create a new role. Create role. Select. Search for CodeBuild. Select CodeBuild. So basically, it is saying this role can be assumed by CodeBuild service. Then we have to give the permissions policies. So that's why we created this policy in the previous step. So I'll copy this. Paste it, search it, make sure you select it. That's so then it can be part of the role. And you have to provide a name. So I'll just call it CodeBuild service role demo. And rest all is fine. Click on create role. So the role is created. So you can just do a view role. So this is also open and the policy is also view policy. So this is both are open in their own tab. So we have seen this added permissions. Next is the part where we will create a CodeBuild project. So I come here, I'll search for CodeBuild and we will create a project in CodeBuild. So this is the CodeBuild project name. So click on create project. Give the name default project. If you want to provide a description, I'll just provide an optional description. And keep all these settings as default. Then we have to have a GitHub connection for CodeBuild. Basically, this is how it will fetch all your source code or the repository from the GitHub. So we have to create a connection. So under source, select GitHub and you will see you have not connected to GitHub. So you click on manage account credentials. This will automatically open a new tab. So GitHub app and here create a new GitHub connection. So this will open a pop-up and provide the connection name, connect to GitHub. And click on connect. So once you have done this, just click refresh and you will see GitHub connection for CodeBuild and click on save. Because this is already GitHub I have opened in a separate tab. That's why it is able to establish a session. So click on save and you will see this has turned into from red to green. Your account is successfully connected by using AWS managed GitHub app. Then repository in my GitHub account. So in this step, I am saying which repository I want to work with. So we have seen this and here is the repository. So just make sure you change this username. So if you go to the repository, you will see the whole repository URL. So I'll copy the repository URL and here paste the URL and just keep all the default settings and rebuild every time. So this also default setting and under environment. So I'll just open all the default settings so you can also take a look. So what options are available? So on demand, managed image, EC2, container. Just change the operating system to Ubuntu and runtime is standard. Image is AWS CodeBuild standard 7.0. And default setting, image version, always use the latest image. New service role or existing service role. So that's why we created a role. So here it has automatically. So if you just click, it will show automatically any roles that can be assumed by CodeBuild service. So it has, you just pick that service, sorry, that role. And additional configuration, you can definitely take a look what options are available. So if you just scroll down, keep all the default settings, compute 2 vCPUs, 4 GB memory, and environment variables will add later, and all the default settings. So under build spec, you can you can give build commands directly or use a build spec file. You can change the file name also, but by default it will look for a file with this exact name, buildspec.yaml. So I'll just showcase that. Okay, you can change the file name if you want, but anyway, in this case it's the default file name. Batch configuration, artifacts, all the default settings, and logs. So CloudWatch logs. So I can provide a CloudWatch logs group. I'll paste the CloudWatch logs group, and that's all the settings. And next we'll just do a create build project. So this will go ahead and create a project. So you will get some this, you can ignore this warning message, and project created. You have successfully created the following project, and whole project settings are here. So next step is to, we'll add some environment variable, because our Docker file is using 2 environment variables. So you will click on edit on your CodeBuild project, and you will add this environment variable. So click on edit, and if you come here on the environment, so under environment, additional configuration, this one. So add default region, US East 1. Add one more. There are 2 environment variable which you have to add. AWS account ID. So account ID, and you can copy the account ID from this part. So take the account ID and paste it. And that's all. Scroll down and update project. So these 2 environment variable will be used by our Docker file. And the place where it uses is here. So here. Now the Docker file is the build spec file. Sorry. So build spec file has this 2 reference environment variable, default region, and account ID. Okay, so we have successfully updated the project, and next we'll do a start build. So start build will look for the buildspec.yaml file, and whatever the configuration you have given in the YAML file, it will accordingly build the Docker image. Any kind of a compilation, test step, everything it will do as per the build spec YAML file. So I just clicked on start build. So build started, and you will see the build logs showing the last 5000 lines of the build log. So it will start first. It will spin up your machine, and it will start as per the instructions. It will like do a checkout, any build instructions like compilation, or and then finally you can see it does a ECR get login password, and this is the environment variable. So let's close this so that we have more space to see. And so it is running all the command docker build, and it is building the Docker image. Any copy step, so there's only one file that it is copying, the app.js file. Then it is building. So finally the build is completed, succeeded. So you should see succeeded at the end, and if you scroll, it should have a status as succeeded. So whole build.spec has successfully run. If you go to the phase details, you will see starting from submitted, queued, provisioning, download source, install, pre-build, build, post-build, upload artifacts, finalizing, and completed. So everything has successfully completed. Okay, so we have seen this and phase details. Next, we can verify the ECR repository. So if you come here, you will see your private repository. Under images, there is a image which was pushed just now. Next, we'll just do a test. So first, I will test it from my local machine. So I'll create an access keys. So if you already have an access key, you can skip this step, but I will do it fresh so that you can see it one more time. So go to the security credentials and I will create a access key. So under access keys, create access key. So just say I understand the risks and it will generate an access key. I will just keep this screen open and I will go to the console. So first I have to do AWS configure and provide the access key. So I'll take the access key and I'll take the secret. So this is the key ID and this is the secret access key. And default region US East 1 and output format JSON. So after this, I can go ahead and so here I am just doing a login so that I can pull the image and I will run the Docker image locally. So first I will set up these two variables, my account ID and the region that I want to work with. So these two will be used here in the command so that I don't have to like come here and specifically enter or type in here. So I'll just set up two environment variables. Next I will do a ECR get login. So login succeeded and I'll do a Docker pull. Okay, so the Docker daemon is not running, so I'll just start the Docker server, Docker app. So let me try once again. So it is starting the Docker engine. Okay, so it is started. So let me try now. So it is pulling the Docker image from my ECR repository. So the image total size is around 50 MB, 40-50 MB. So it should be pretty fast. And next I will do a Docker run. So basically here I am running the Docker image on. So front end will be 8080, but Docker is exposing that on the port number 80. So I'll do a Docker run. So it's saying demo app listening at this particular port. So if I come here, I'll copy the URL. So you will see AWS CodeBuild demo successfully built and deployed with AWS CodeBuild. And this is what we are. So we have successfully tested our application running. So next step is to, and there's a one more URL, health URL. So if I come here and paste it, so it has one more endpoint that status is healthy. And this is the index.html page or the home page. And next we'll clean up all the resources. So first I can actually press Ctrl C, so it will stop the Docker running container. And next is to delete the ECR repository. So I come to the ECR repository and go to the repositories, select the repository and click on delete. So this will automatically delete the image which is inside. So successfully deleted the repository. Step 2, delete the CodeBuild project. So I come to the CodeBuild project and go to the project, demo web app build and click on actions, delete, and I have to just copy paste the name. So okay, so type in delete, not the project name. So okay, now I can delete the CodeBuild project. So there are no projects at the moment. Now next is to delete the CloudWatch log group. So for this, so this is already deleted, so I can go to the CloudWatch. Okay, so I go to the CloudWatch and delete the log groups. So if you go to the log groups, you can just search with CodeBuild and set it and actions, delete log group and click on delete. So this is also deleted. Next, you can delete the IAM policy. So IAM policy is here and you can click on delete and copy paste the policy name. Next step is to delete the IAM role. So role is already open in this particular tab and I can click on delete. So I paste the role name and this will delete the role also. Next is to delete the GitHub repo. So this is optional. So for this, you can come to the CodeBuild demo, the repository, and you will go to the settings. So this is the repository page, not the home page. Go to settings, and if you scroll down, danger zone, delete this repository, and I want to delete this repository, and you have to type this or copy paste this into the box. Okay, and this will delete the repository. Next, I don't need this token also, so I can delete the token also. So I understand I will delete this token. So even if I have recorded in the video, it does not matter because now it's deleted. Next is to deactivate and delete the access key. So I can come to the security credentials screen, and so I have already used this, so I can click on done and continue. Now there will be an access key. I can just go ahead and select it and actions. If you say delete, it will ask you to deactivate first. Once you have deactivated, you can copy paste the key ID and paste it, and this will delete the access key. So even if I have recorded, it does not matter now. And that's all. Thanks for watching.